First of all, it's me, Mr. R. Let's do some math. So I want to continue talking about factors and multiples. The question I want to ask today is, how can we use factors and multiples in multiplication and division? So first of all, in order to answer that question, I want to remind you what factors and multiples are. So we're going to review for a second. So if you're not sure, you're like, I can't remember what factors and multiples are. That's okay. Let's start there. So factors. Remember, factors are the numbers you multiply together to get a multiple. So 4 times 3. 4 and 3 are the factors. The multiple, the answer I get, is 12. So 4 times 3, those are my factors. They're the numbers I'm multiplying together. 4 times 3, and the multiple is 12. A multiple is the number we get when we multiply factors together. We can also describe it as any number we hit when we're skip counting by a factor. So if we're skip counting by a factor of 4, then we're going to hit all of these numbers. All of these numbers are our multiples, and you can keep on going forever if you wanted. There's no end to the multiples. We can just keep skip counting. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and just keep on going forever. So one more time, factors are the numbers we multiply together, and multiples are the numbers we get when we multiply, but we can also describe them as the numbers we hit when we're skip counting. Let's take a look at how this is connected to multiplication and division. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about fact families. What are we going to talk about? Facts. Fact families, sorry. Fact families. Okay, so fact families. What is a fact family? So I'm going to put a fact family up here on the board, and I want you to think about, well, what is a fact family? See if you can come up with an answer, and then I'll go over it. So in your own words, based on what I have here, I want you to see what you notice. Remember, start by noticing. What do you notice, and what do you think a fact family is? Take a second. Based on that, if this is a fact family, what is a fact family? I'm not sure, but here's what I think. Did you say something? Okay, so a fact family. A fact family are the factors, the numbers that multiply together. They're the factors that are locked together that give you a specific multiple. Mr. R, what do you mean when you say locked together? 3 times 6 will always give me 18. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 6 is always going to be 18. That's what I mean when I say they're locked together. This is a family. I can't replace this part of the family with something like 28 because that's just not true. 3 times 6 is not 28. Sorry, you're not part of the family. And if I did 6 times 3, well, that's still not 28. 28 is not part of that family. So I say they're locked together. I mean, that's it. That's a fact family. You can't change that. So let's take a look. 3 times 6 is 18. I can also use that to find another number sentence. 6 times 3 is also 18. 3 times 6 is 18. 6 times 3 is also 18. See how it's all locked together? You're always going to get this answer. I want you to keep in mind, here's the other really cool part, is that remember that multiplication and division are opposites of each other. So if I know my fact family for 3 times 6, if I know that that's 18, I can do the exact opposite and find the division number sentences that match it. So 18 divided by 6 equals 3. And I want you to see how that's an exact opposite. 18 divided by 6 equals 3. 18 divided by 6 equals 3. It's the exact opposite. 18 divided by 6. Ooh, see, I want that to stay orange. I said be orange. 6 equals 3. And the same is true if I go the other way, again, starting with this multiple. We can also call that the total, remember. 18 divided by 3 equals 6. And see how that's, again, the exact opposite of this one. 18 divided by 3 equals 6. 18 divided by 3, again, I want that to be orange, I'm sorry, 3 equals 6. So if we know one fact family, then we know 4 different number sentences. And that's why it's so important. If I know my multiplication facts, if I know my multiplication fact for 4, if I know that 4 times 1 is, let's do a different one. If I know that 4 times 2 is 8, then I also know that 2 times 4 is 8. And I also know 8 divided by 4 is 2. And I also know that 8 divided by 2 is 4. It is all connected. So that is why it is so important. If you know one fact family, then you actually know 4 different related number sentences. What is a fact family? In your own words, think about it, pause it, see if you can put it into your own words. Great. A fact family are the factors that are locked together, the numbers that multiply together to give you a specific multiple. Because multiplication and division are opposites, if I know one fact family, I know 4 number sentences. 3 times 6, the factor 3 times factor 6, gives me the multiple 18. I can go the other way. 6 times 3, these two factors multiplied together, give me 18. I can also do it with division, starting with my total or the multiple. 18 divided by 6 is always going to be 3, and 18 divided by 3 is always going to be 6. So I want you to see if you can come up with these number sentences using a fact family. So I want you to try that right now. I'll write one out for you. I'll leave this all here just so that you can see. You should be able to come up with you should be able to come up with 4 number sentences for it. So let's see, let's scoot all this over. I'm going to use similar numbers, so 24, and that's the multiple. What's the rest of the fact family? Well, we can do 6 and 4. So I want you to see if you can come up with the 2 multiplication number sentences and the 2 division number sentences that you can get from this fact family. Go ahead and see if you can do that. Go ahead and pause it, try it on your own, and then I'll write it out. Did you pause it? Great! Okay, let's try. 6 times 4 gives me 24. 6 times 4 gives me 24. I can also go the other way. 4 times 6 also gives me 24. 24 is the multiple. And then because division is the opposite, I can just start at the top and do the exact same thing, going the opposite direction, starting with my total or the multiple. 24 divided by 4 equals 6. 24 divided by 4 equals 6. And then I could also do 4. I can also do 6 divided by 4 equals 24. Wait a second. Can I actually do that? No, that doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Well, because 6 isn't a total. It's not a multiple. I can't start with it if I'm doing division. That doesn't make any sense. 6 divided by 4 isn't 24. So make sure you're paying attention to the multiples and where you're starting. Remember, division is a separating operation. We would always start with the total or the biggest number. So here is my total, 24. I already did 24 divided by 4. I already did 24 divided by 4 is 6, so I can go the other way. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. One more time, I want you to stop and think, pause it. What is a fact family? And how is it related to multiples and factors? Go ahead and pause it, stop and think. All right. Again, so a fact family are the factors that are paired together to make a multiple. And if you know that fact family, 6, 4, and 24, they are related through multiplication and division. If you know this fact family that's related by using multiplication division, then you can write out all the number sentences that go along with it. This fact family is related through multiplication division. A fact family are the factors and multiples that are paired together. If I know this fact family, I can write out all these multiplication sentences. And that's why it's so important for you to know your multiplication facts, because if you even know one of them, then you can rewrite it and write all of them. So I want to see if you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and give you this here in case you need help with that. And what if I don't give you the fact family, but I give you one multiplication sentence? Let's use a different, no, we can stick with 6. Let's do 6 times 7 equals 42. If I gave you this and I told you what's the other multiplication sentence and what is the other division sentences based on this fact family, 6, 7, and 42, could you tell me the other number sentences? Go ahead and see if you can do that. If you know this fact family, just by looking at this, if you know what 6 times 7 is, if you know that equals 42, then you can use this to find all of these other number sentences. Can you do that? Give it a shot. So pause it, try it, and here we go. If I know that 6 times 7 is 42, then I also know that 7 times 6 is 42. And because division is the exact opposite, we would start with the total and rewrite it with division, because division is a separating operation. We start with our total. 42 divided by 7 equals 6. Could I put a 7 there? No, because this is division. We have to start with our total, or the multiple in this case. And the only one can I put 7? No, we already did that one. The last one in that in that fact family is 42 divided by 6 is 7. This is why our fact families are so important. This is why it's so important that you know your multiplication facts, because if you know one, then you know the whole fact family, everything for it. So here is the fact family for this one. And these are all related to each other through multiplication and division. And if you know this fact family, if you know that 6 times 7 is 42, then you actually know 4 different number sentences. Good luck, and hopefully I'll have practice problems you can do as a worksheet, as a link below that you can try. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.